About 3 weeks ago, I was doing my usual 10-day trip to Bogota, Colombia. This time I had some Clayhands business to attend to, and I had an appointment out in San Pablo de Borbur, out in the emerald mining region. So Clayhands had a plan to make Adobe bricks with the help of the mayor and a couple of friends I have out in Borbur. Borbur actually is right here. The town was named after the sound that the frogs make in a little place over here. You know, Borbur sounds like a frog. Up here is the Furatena. Everybody loves the Furatena. There's a nice picture of it. And that's taken from the road that goes to Borbur. So here I am. I met the mayor. We made an agreement. I gave him a book. That always helps. And I have a black eye, but that's a different story. The way to Pauna and Borbur from Bogota is take the same old road through Pauna, and on the way to Borbur, on the way back, I come back through Muzo and Maripi. So here's an old map that shows all the points of interest. Bogota, at 9,000 feet altitude, has a decent highway that goes up here to Zipaquirá, 1 hour, about 2 more hours, so you get to Chiquinquirá. From this point on, you're on either a dirt road or an asphalt road that is not in very good shape. Actually, you have to go over a high ridge here at about 12,000 feet, and then you start descending down, Pauna, 3,000 feet altitude, to Borbur, maybe 2,000 feet altitude. It's definitely semi-tropical and warm here. And the point of interest here is this little highway right here between Borbur and Muzo. It goes right along the Minero River, and this was the place where I've only taken this maybe 4 times in the last 10 years, but it never resulted in such an adventure as it did this time. Look at this. Here's a map that shows Muzo mine down here and the town of Muzo across the river, or across the Rio Minero. Here's La Pita mine. The Rio Minero flows south to north right here. So I finished my meeting with the mayor, and I'm here talking to my friend Edgar Orjuela. He's going to take care of the logistics of making 1,000 Adobe bricks. We were talking, it was about 4:30, and I looked at the sky and said, I think I better go. And he looked at the sky, and we both said, yeah, you better go right now. There was a big cloud coming. This is the cloud right here. The road actually started out nice and dry. I can look down at the Rio Minero from the road. Here's the La Pita Emerald Mine. This is Cunas, farther down the river. The road looks something like this, also looks kind of like this, but you have to imagine it in the rain, because about halfway through the trip, it got cloudy and it started to rain a lot. And actually, let me show it to you on this map here. This is Borbur, and this road here goes to Cosquez. It's paved most of the way. But to get to Muzo, I took this road here, which is only 10 or 12 years old, and it was originally a very narrow road going through the jungle, but it's slowly been improved. They built a bridge. Now 4-wheel drive vehicles can make it, and some 2-wheel drive vehicles in the dry. But it actually gets very steep, like around here, like there's rocks up here that'll tumble all the way down to the river. The thing about satellite maps is you have no idea how steep everything is. Look at this, the river goes down. Look, here's the bridge that was built about 10 years ago. So right here, I'm low, the level of the river, maybe 1,000 feet altitude. And from here, I have to go up. So starting right here is uphill. This is another steep uphill. And here it gets so steep uphill that there's 2 or 3 switchbacks. And it's really steep. Even on a dry road, I crashed here once because I didn't concentrate hard enough for the road I was on. But somewhere over here, it started raining. And by the time I got here, the clouds had closed in. It actually got dark early, and the rain was really a strong rain with very high winds. And something happened that I took a wrong turn. Maybe here, maybe this was it. And I ended up going downhill instead of uphill towards Muzo. What happened is I ended up down here by the Totumos mine. And the thing is, it was dark, it was raining, it was cold, I was wet. I had already crashed once in the mud. And so I'd used up all my energy to get going again, get the bike lifted. And even halfway down this road, I knew I'm on the wrong road. I knew I was lost, but I had to keep going to see where the road goes. And by the time I got down here to the river, I just was an exhausted, broken man. I couldn't go anymore. Mentally, I was so fatigued. I just stood there next to the motorcycle under a little piece of tin roof that happened to be there. And I watched it rain. I watched the lightning and the storm. And I just stood there. That's all I did for 45 minutes. And finally, my brain started working again. And I thought, I think I know where my mistake was. I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna keep going because I can't stay here all night. I found the turn, not certain about it, but somewhere along this road, there was one crazy guy. He was the only guy going the other way that entire night. And I flagged him down. And I begged him, where am I? Is this the road to Muzo? And he goes, yes, hombre, keep going and you'll get to Muzo. So I kept going. It seemed like it took a long time. This is the town of Muzo when it's not raining. And here's the video I made the next morning. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so I'm in Muzo, and some of you have already seen my photos of the little highway that goes between Borbur and Muzo. And I left Borbur last night in full sunlight at about 4:30 p.m. And then by the time I got to Muzo, it was 3 hours later instead of 1 hour that usually takes. And the storm was so bad that here in Muzo, the people are talking about trees that were uprooted and there were 2 houses here in Muzo that were smashed. So you can see that I'm kind of happy to be alive, and I survived the storm. Possibly being lost was a benefit because the storm was focused around the town of Muzo and I was lost somewhere around Totumos. 3 different news medias reported on the storm. Here's some of the damage. Here's another report about trees being uprooted. Here's another report about some of the damage. And one person posted on Twitter, he took this video from his window. So that looks like 50 to 70 mile an hour winds right there. It stripped a lot of trees of their foliage. After that morning, I had to go buy dry clothes because there was not any dry clothes in my entire pack. I thought the adventure was over, but I had a flat tire for the last 80 miles of the trip coming back to Bogota. So I had to stop at every gas station, and it didn't help very much. I lost the air after 5 or 10 minutes, but I did learn how to ride a motorcycle with 0 air in the back tire. You have to go in straight lines and really slow. If you want more information about Clayhands or our Adobe project, this wall right here takes about 300 bricks, and we are making in Borbur, we're making about 1,000 bricks, and it's cultural, it's historic, it's going to help the town of San Pablo de Borbur. They're doing some cultural restorations there and making a tourist path. It's going to be a great project. So just look us up at clayhands.org.